What's up, guys? This is Jensen and welcome to another video. So I know these are strange times in the NBA right now with the hiatus. No NBA basketball right now. So I'm going to take the time right now and let's look forward to the 2021 NBA free agency class. And the biggest free agent on the market is going to be Giannis Antetokounmpo. That's presuming that he won't take the Supermax extension that the Milwaukee Bucks will offer him. I don't think he's going to do that. I mean, there are rumors that he's not going to return to the Bucks if they don't win an NBA championship either this year if it resumes or the next year. So I think he's going to wait it out, obviously. But the real question that we're going to see over the next couple of weeks and months and ultimately over the next year is, what's Giannis going to do in free agency? This dude could absolutely alter the franchise who gets him in free agency next year. This dude is a top 3 talent already, but I think that he'll be the best player in the world once he figures out how to shoot the ball. But even if he doesn't ultimately find a jump shot, I still think that this dude's going to be the best player in the NBA one day. And he's going to be a big-time free agent to talk about. And as crazy as it sounds, I know the Milwaukee Bucks have had a ton of success this season. I know that Mike Budenholzer, he's a really good coach. I know that what Milwaukee's building up there, they're a very good team this year. But I think that Giannis has got to leave Milwaukee. And I think that for multiple reasons. Number one, look at the age of this core other than Giannis. Giannis is going to be 26 years old next year during free agency. But look at this. Chris Middleton is going to be 29 years old, bordering on 30 years old by the time it's next year free agency. Eric Bledsoe is going to be 31 years old by the time it's next year's free agency. Brook Lopez, 33 years old. When we look at a guy like George Hill, he's going to be 35 years old. These guys are getting older, guys. They're not quite in Giannis' age group. And that concerns me because while it might not affect Giannis in years 1 and 2 after he signs a Supermax contract with the Milwaukee Bucks, years 3 through 5 could look absolutely miserable for Giannis, especially when considering the fact that there are some young teams right now that look like they could really do some stuff in the near future. Look at the Celtics with Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. The Sixers, even though we have their questions about them, I think that with Simmons and Embiid, they're definitely going to still be relevant. Looking at a team like the Chicago Bulls, my Chicago Bulls, who I think are one head coach firing away from becoming a true relevant playoff team. We don't know what the Atlanta Hawks are going to look like in a couple years, but they could be scary. It looks like they're going to have Trae Young at a big-time lottery talent this year in the NBA draft. They could probably get another piece or two. I think that there are multiple teams on the rise. But if you're Giannis and you look at the age group of your Milwaukee Bucks right now, I think that it could be very concerning in years 3 through 5, even year 2 after he signs the Supermax contract. Because when we're looking at the age group, we could end up looking at something like this as like the LeBron Cavs in his final year. Remember that team? There was no help for LeBron. We could be looking at a very similar situation with Giannis if he doesn't get out of Milwaukee. That's reason number 1. Reason number 2 is just Giannis himself, his brand, and how he wants to view himself by the end of his career. Because we're already seeing small market bias affect Giannis right now when we're talking about the MVP discussion. I think that Giannis, he's clearly having the best season in the NBA. I don't care what anyone else says. Look at all the stats. Giannis has been the best player in the NBA on offense, on defense. He's doing it all. And yet we hear LeBron James' name in the MVP conversation. Why is that? I think that part of it is that obviously LeBron is a bigger name than Giannis. But when we look at LeBron, why is he a bigger name than Giannis? Part of it is because he left Cleveland the first time and he went to Miami. He was able to really build up his brand there. And then when we look at going to Los Angeles to be with the Lakers, that even further boosted LeBron James and his brand. So when we look at Giannis, obviously he's a big brand right now in the NBA, and us basketball fans know him. But if he truly wants to grow his brand out, I think he's going to have to go to a bigger market at some point. Even Kareem Abdul-Jabbar left Milwaukee for Los Angeles. So I think that at some point, if you're Giannis and you want all these credentials, you want the MVPs, you want the championships, you want your brand to grow, I think that leaving Milwaukee is definitely the best option in my opinion. Now, I think that there are 2 easy options for Giannis, 2 options that make a ton of sense next year, and these 2 options should probably be the favorite. And the first one's obviously the Miami Heat. Look at what Pat Riley has done there, Eric Spoelstra's head coach. They've really built a true strong culture in Miami, hard-working, tough, gritty. When you look at the players, Jimmy Butler, Bam Adebayo, Duncan Robinson, Tyler Hero, you could clearly see that these players really resemble the culture. I think that Giannis will fit in perfectly. It's like the perfect match when we consider Giannis' work ethic, his intensity. You combine that with the Miami Heat, what they're doing. Jimmy Butler, he's going to really push Giannis to be better. Bam Adebayo is a perfect running mate. This dude is a young center. He was an all-star last year, but he's only going to get better. When we look at this dudes, Duncan Robinson and Tyler Hero, Giannis has never played with shooters like these guys. These dudes can shoot the lights out. They're going to really make Giannis' job easier. I think that that's a perfect fit. And then when we look at the Toronto Raptors, that's also a really good fit as well. Because even though Toronto sometimes doesn't get the media coverage that they probably deserve because, they're in Canada and all that, when the Toronto Raptors are relevant, you normally hear about them. So I don't think that's really a concern. You pair up with their guy, Pascal Siakam. We know they're good friends. And Pascal Siakam and Giannis Antetokounmpo are about the same age. I think that works out really well. They really have a good young core there. A guy like OG Anunoby at small forward, or a guy like Fred VanVleet, you would assume that they're going to re-sign him. Toronto is, and I think that when we're looking at the head coach, Nick Nurse, this dude has proven, not just last year, but this year, that he's one of the best head coaches in the NBA. Masai Ujiri right now, one of the best presidents of basketball operations in the NBA right now. He's an absolute mastermind when it comes to the GM position. When we're looking at the Toronto Raptors, even though Giannis would probably have to move to small forward, which is less than ideal, I think the talent level there, the work ethic they show there, the culture they've built there in Toronto, that's also a really good fit for them. And I think that's the biggest thing when we're talking about Giannis. These two teams, Toronto and Miami, they're both bigger markets. They both have strong work ethic. They both have built a strong team culture there. That's why I think that ultimately, when we're looking at Giannis, I think that's why you should leave Milwaukee. Because when we're looking at the Miami Heat and the Toronto Raptors, I think that Giannis could ultimately have a better legacy and better career if he left Milwaukee. But we'll see how it goes. Thanks for watching this video, guys. Please like and subscribe. I'll be bringing more NBA and NFL hot takes as the season goes on. Have a good day. Remember to follow me on Twitter, Jensen Sports. See y'all later.